All right, I'm Alexander Payne, one half of Sad Money. I'm here with
Nathan Macintosh.
Nathan Macintosh. I consider you an authority on all things that people hate about the economy.
Wow.
And I would love to know your thoughts, because in your material, you talk a lot about this type of stuff, which is why I was like, you'd be a perfect guest. And I want to start right now with people are overusing AI. And I know you've got thoughts on AI, and I'm wondering, what do you think about it? Like, do you think it's good? Do you think it's bad? What do you think of the future of it, the founders of it, and everything?
I think it's bad. I think we're toast. I think if there's anybody you can sleep with right now, do that. I think take that trip, see that person, call your ex, divorce your wife, cheat on her. None of it really. Well, don't do that. I think we're toast, and I think that I think that people using it so casually is pretty awful. It's kind of like if you decided I'm going to butter my toast with AR-15. You're like, I guess, but it does some pretty horrific things. Now, there's a bunch of people. I argue with people online all the time about this. They're like, but it's our one chance to save humanity. No dice. I say no to that because there's a 50% chance it could end it. That 50% chance is not enough to stop cancer. I'm sorry, your grandmother is gone, as is mine. But the rest of us would still like to be here. I think it's bad. I think a lot of the founders now, there's a guy named George Hinton, and a man from Canada, which does bother me, and a guy named Mo Gaudat. I always mess this man's name up, but he used to work at Google X, and both of those men, with other people, are going around now being like, we got to do something about AI. We have to stop this, but it is kind of too late.
Yeah, how do you put it back in the bag? Like, the cat's out of the bag and in the river. So, like, what do we do from here on out? Like, what would you think? How do you get people to? How do you regulate AI?
I don't think you do. Personally, because again, okay, so that Mo Gaudat guy, I listened to an interview with him, and the interviewer was like, because he was like, AI's not bad, it's the people that use AI. Same stupid thing that people say about guns. Yeah. Guns aren't bad. Yeah, guns only are here to murder. I'd even say that AI, though, at least could potentially have some positive uses in the way of, like, even dumb things like, I don't know, whatever, small things.
Writing an email.
Yeah, certain things like that. But he was like, he looked right at the camera and he goes, hey, if you're out there and you have bad intentions with AI, stop it. So I don't think you can do anything. if the whole thing is like, don't be bad, pretty cool, dude. And it doesn't seem like it's going to be a thing that will stop because, you know, the whole fear is that China will get to singularity first, and whenever that happens, somebody's dead. So it's this dumb, stupid, it never stops. Everybody has to be like, I need to be the one that has all of the money and all the things.
Right.
And people say these thoughts about nukes, right? They're like, yeah, but countries have those and everything's fine. It's like, yeah, but nukes are launched by us. Yeah. And a human has to be like, I would like to destroy said country. Get out of here, Cincinnati.
Yeah.
But AI could make that decision for us. And it's pretty creepy. I forgot what your question was.
Well, it's about the idea of AI and it being bad, and, like, you know, can we put the cat back in the box, or is it too late? But you gave me the answer on that and the creators. My thing is, you were just talking about China, and do you believe the fear that a lot of people express here, where it's like, no, China's going to take us over? I mean, in my opinion, I think it's already over. I think China's already won this. They've already done the victory lap. We just haven't caught on to it. But do you have any thoughts? Because you're from Canada.
Yeah.
And you don't have to be so, I don't feel like Canadians are really nationalistic unless it's like hockey or something like that.
And the 51st state stuff.
Oh, yeah, 51st state stuff. How about that? We'll go with that, and then we'll talk about China after that.
The 51st state stuff is just ridiculous, and there's a lot of reasons to be upset about it, and a lot of Canadians are, but at this point in time, it seems to be one of those things that's like, we'll talk about it sometimes, and other times we won't, and right now it's not being talked about, so whatever. I think it's, it's just kind of a disrespectful thing to say. China, I don't know anything about anything, but you look around here, right? And this place, it'd be nice if it continued to exist, because if it doesn't, a lot of things like fundamentally shift, and then 360 million people got to find out the hard way. You know, be humble to a degree that I don't think anybody here is ready to deal with, because this is the land of Carl's Jr. and big tits.
Yeah.
And it's the best, no matter what's going on. So, anyways, but you walk around here and you go, this is loose. This is like loose.
Yeah.
We got airports literally saying, don't come here, don't fly out of this airport.
Yeah.
Like air traffic controllers who work in the building are like, avoid it at all costs. And people are like, ha, 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 ha. Just laugh it off. Big joke fest. Planes are going to fall out of the sky, and people are going to be like, glad I wasn't on that one.
Yeah.
I hope that trip was worth it. Just jokes. Nothing but jokes all the time. China's not doing that.
Yeah.
China's tight, seemingly. So I really think right now, if China wanted to come over and just start taking it, right over there, right? Big red tanks. What's going to happen? People are going to start recording it. Oh, man, China's driving over me.
Yeah.
It's just loose. It just feels real loose over here. And I have not been to China, but they don't seem to be. It doesn't feel as if they're as loose as this place is currently.
So basically, the idea is like we have no self-defense because we've just memeified ourselves into insanity. Basically, that's the only way we can deal with anything, is to immediately make fun of it and turn it into content.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry. But
no, yeah. People seem to be fully just, a story lasts for an hour, maybe a day, and then it's fully gone. And no matter how big that story is, a giant crab could attack Ohio. Wednesday, I'm not talking about the crab anymore. Crab, when was that? And a lot of people there's so much stuff that a lot of people wouldn't even know about the crab.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of people that don't look any deeper than AI helps me. I heard somebody the other day say, guys, you got to try AI in this thing, whatever. She was like, you got to do it. It wrote my resume so much better than I could at such a part. And I'm sitting there seething, being like, whore. Can I swear here?
Yeah, you can swear.
Whore. Like, take some time, write it yourself. And if it's not as good as this stupid thing can do it, great. Then it's not as good. Yeah. Then this is Janice's resume. Stop it.
This is where your limit is. Like,
I'm out on, dude, I don't have any smart things in my house. I don't want a smart TV. I don't want a smart toilet. I don't got Alexa.
Nice.
Every single thing can get fucked.
Yeah.
In my way of thinking. I don't want to walk into my house, Alexa, turn my lights on. I have hands, and I'm completely fine with using them to do certain things. So AI, I'm way, and look, it might become a thing where AI does just do nothing but help us. Everybody that used AI is a full golden god, rich hero with abs who's constantly getting sucked every day. And I guess I'll just miss that boat.
Yeah, and you're completely fine with that.
Currently, I am.
Okay.
Because I don't feel it's going to go that way. I just don't. I can't see that once you put a thing in control of us, that it's going to go, well, you help me get it. Okay. People have kids, right?
Right.
Those kids are dependent on them. Then one day that kid grows up to automatically tell their parents to get fucked. Yeah. Even if they don't say it, they do things that they stay out late. They drink when they shouldn't. They date a person that their parents don't like. They do things that go, I'm bucking this system.
Yeah.
And and at first they start out there of going, yes, I need you, I love you, blah, blah, blah. And then one day they eat you.
So you're saying your belief is like, just like what our children do to us, eventually AI is going to eat us?
Yes.
Honestly, I don't disagree with that. I mean, I work with kids, so I kind of see kids dependent on AI already.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like there's no volume button. It's like, Alexa, turn it up. Google, turn it up. And I'm like, oh my God, yeah, it's already begun. And they're like 6. Like if they want to ask a question, it's like, Google, what is this? And then that's it. And then if Google can't give them the answer, then they go like, well, that's it. I guess that question can't be answered right now. So that's interesting. All right. Because I want to know, because we were talking about AI, but like, what are your views on technology in general? Like when you were growing up, were you excited about technology versus now, how you feel about it? Like, you were around when the first iPhone came out. Were you excited when that happened? Or now, how do you look at like people like Zuckerberg or Bezos or, we watch these people go from a book selling company to like our lords and masters.
Yeah.
Kind of. What do you think about that? People like that, or just technology in general?
Well, I mean, yeah, I was here for the first Nintendo. Yeah. I had all of them. I had Nintendo, Super Nintendo, 64. Dude, when the 64 came out, earth-shattering.
Yeah.
It was blowing people's dicks all the way off. To see Mario in 3D swimming for coins, honest to God, when I saw that in a Blockbuster when I was a kid, me and my brother were like, yeah, I mean, this is it.
Yeah.
We did it. Video game-wise, loved a lot of it. A lot of other tech, sure. But the iPhone, when it first came out, I didn't care.
Okay.
The only reason I got a smartphone, actually, was because I moved to New York, and I wanted maps. That was it.
Okay.
I got a used iPhone 3 from a guy who completely screwed me, and the headphone jack didn't work. So, I don't know. I got it solely for that reason. Past that, I don't really care too much about it. Like I said, I don't want any smart things. I think Zuckerberg is just trash. This man has been trash for a long time. When they made a movie about him in 2010, I was like, who the fuck is going to... Why? Like, for what?
Academy Award winning movie, by the way.
But a guy who made it, if they made it now, it would almost make more sense to me. We're talking 20 years later.
Yeah.
4.5 years later,
Yeah.
we're so addicted to the letting you know whose birthday it is app that people are like, I got to see the movie about how this was made. And then you go, look at him. Full mutant. Full mutant that never should have been in charge of any sort of anything. But a lot of the tech people, I really feel that they're, and I could be, I don't know anything really. I could be 100% wrong on this, but I think you make a Zuckerberg, right? You're a parent, you make a Zuckerberg. His eyes are darting all over the place. He's rotating. You go, I can't deal with this, so I'll give him a motherboard.
Yeah.
He's going to sit here and ping-pang this around, and he's going to lock himself in a room and leave me alone to drink brandy and eat crackers or whatever I do. Yeah. But little do you know, and we found this out with a few people, Sam Altman and a couple other these fucking mutants, that they go into a dark room and they end all of it.
Yeah.
They end humanity. And then, because Zuckerberg is absolutely in that realm. This man almost single-handedly sunk society with his bullshit. Honest or fucked.
The evolution of a school shooter, if you will. It's like, he brings down everyone except for just, you know what I mean? Like back then.
Yeah.
The guy would shoot one person. Now he's shooting all of us, right? Is that what you're trying to...
No, I don't know if I was trying to make a school shoot, but I get what you're saying. I think collectively, everybody here is fundamentally different after Facebook and Instagram than we were before. Every single person, all of us.
Yeah.
And that goes with all these other apps too, but his seems to be the first one. I mean, MySpace didn't do that.
No.
Dane Cook got famous, and the rest of us just had a good time.
Yeah.
Tom retired. Tom is like in Hawaii getting blown.
He's a photographer, yeah.
Good job, buddy. Yeah, he's just taking pictures of volcanoes or whatever. Sick. He didn't try to sink the universe, which this man did by allowing certain things to be said there and then being like, no, we're going to be free. Do you think, when you look at a guy like Zuckerberg, do you think this motherfucker cares about fucking free speech? How? Why? You have all the money in the world. You can do whatever you want. Free speech. He could come here and just start punching people. Walk this track and just start hitting people. What's going to happen to him? Where's he going? Jail?
No,
he's going to go to jail.
Yeah.
Here, cop, here's $200K. Get the fuck out of my face. I'll flip this baby carriage. I'll beat up all these people. What's it matter? You know what I mean? You have everything. You're not you pretend to care about these certain things so that somebody living in a shed eating cigarettes will be like, this guy's for me and this site is for me. Elon Musk doesn't care about free. I'll say this. I don't think any single person outside of America who moves here cares about free speech the way that people say they do.
Yeah.
Elon Musk from South Africa? Absolutely not, sir.
Yeah.
Big hats, dumb trucks. No way. Grift. Full grift.
Yeah.
And you also sunk society with your bullshit. So anyways, does that answer your question?
That answers that question.
And Bezos.
Yeah.
Bezos in a $77 million yacht. Get fucked. Going halfway to space. Fuck off. And I use Amazon like once a year.
Okay.
Truly. Because I really only thing I buy sometimes is books. But there's a thing called thrift books, which is great.
Yeah.
They like cheaper books and you get points and blah blah blah. It takes a little longer than Amazon, but I'm fine with that. I don't need a book thrown through my window the absolute second I push a button.
Yeah.
I can wait 4 days to read Moby Dick.
I was gonna ask you because you said I think you're talking about crypto. Sam Bankman-Fried.
I brought up Sam Altman, but
Sam Altman, sorry.
Yeah.
Sam Altman. But it's like, did you ever buy crypto? Because, I mean, that's kind of the new gamification of things. Is like, you know, you can get Dogecoin, Dogcoin, Shitcoin, Yaycoin.
Yep.
There's Caitlin Clark coin. Yeah,
Which is,
fart
Hawk
coin,
Tuah coin.
Hawk Tuah coin. Yeah, that's on Kerr, ironically. But like, so what did you said you did buy crypto?
Sure.
What do you think about crypto? Because at one point you gotten.
I've lost money because I'm one of the, but not like a ton, but whatever. I'm one of the dorks that's not in. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Even though, man, you hear things every once in a while, and I'm like, oh God, if I would have did this then, but whatever. I mean, it is what it is. I don't even know. I'm not necessarily against crypto. It kind of is what it is. It is what it is. Hopefully, you have like. There's people say that no money is real, which I understand the idea, but like we're not buying things with shells the way that we used to. There is a dollar that people use for things. So I don't know, man. If you're gonna buy it, hopefully you have some other money. But I have bought it as recently as fucking 3 days ago.
Really?
Yeah, man. If it goes up, I'll get a Cybertruck and move. But like if it doesn't, it doesn't. I definitely wouldn't put everything I have into that.
Oh, but you still believe in the idea of like crypto and all that stuff.
I don't know if I believe in it or not. I don't. I'm just like, it is a thing. It goes up sometimes. It also goes down. The stock market is also kind of like, all right. The stock market's kind of dictated by like 4 guys having a good day or bad day, or one guy,
or Trump,
one man, who's like tariffs, sinks, no tariffs, up. So same type of deal with crypto. Anytime the tariffs move for a bit, crypto goes up, and then when they come back, it goes down. None of this. But I don't know. To say that it's a real thing, yes, but also, when people say the money is fake or whatever, I'm like, I don't know if I fully buy into that.
Yeah. So let me ask you this, because this was a big story with Luigi. You come from Canada where healthcare is free, right?
We like you pay into it. Yeah.
So I'm assuming you have healthcare here.
Sure.
Okay. Well, what do you think about the difference between where you grew up in that system versus where we're at right now, where we're killing CEOs?
I love that you slowly. I mean, I guess there's good and bad to both things. I think both things on each side really thinks that the grass is greener. And I shouldn't actually say that, because there's a lot of Canadians that are like, yes, we like the healthcare system. But then there's a lot of Canadians are like, what am I paying money for if other people can't afford the blah, blah, blah? And it's like, okay, well, come down here then. Come down here where a lot of the money does not even go to fix roads. Like you drive through Canada, the roads work. They do.
Yeah.
The airports work. Yeah. I'm sorry, they do. Our healthcare system is like, okay, quick story, as quick as I can. Yeah. I drank when I was a kid, so I had an ulcer when I was like 15. Years later, I had internal bleeding. I go to the hospital in Canada. I was rushed there because I passed out somewhere. And I'm there for the weekend because they didn't do CAT scans on the weekend, legitimately. Yeah. So I was there from Thursday night to Monday morning. I got like an endoscopy, a bunch of tests, blah, blah, blah. I left. I got a bill 2 months later for $60 for the ambulance ride.
Wow.
Okay? Here one time, a couple years ago, I was like, I should get blood work done. Yeah. I go in. She's like, we'll take your blood. Do you want us to check for everything? I go, sure. Yeah. Thinking, you already got the blood. Yeah. Run it. Run it all.
Yeah.
Not thinking at all that $200 for this test, $300 for that test. Cost me $1,400 to find out nothing's wrong. And the woman goes, don't eat rice. And I go, I don't eat rice. And she goes, that was this one. And that's the one you pay for.
Yeah.
And I'm sure, yes, there's signs all over the place that are like, this is the greatest cardiologist in the world. So I guess it's like, if you have the money, sick, dude, your heart blows out of your chest, you can pay a man to put it back in, $200K, $400K, whatever the hell. If you don't, which most people do not, I don't know. There's good and bad to both, but I think I like where I came from.
All right, let me ask you this then. Like, what about where you grew up in Canada? When you first came out here in New York, did you ever get in debt, like to survive, or have you ever been in debt, or no?
No, but solely because
no credit card debt, nothing.
No.
Okay.
But solely because I grew up a single mom who drank, and there was debt constantly. And I remember being a kid, like my mom would like find change in the couch and stuff, put it together, and roll it and give it to me to walk down to the store to get cornflakes.
Yeah.
Visa called us all the time. Her student loans called us all the time. Sometimes it was just like no food. The phone would get shut off, and I was like, I'll never do this. So credit cards scared me, legitimately. I got a credit card when I first went to college, but it was solely to like book things and start building credit because I do know that you need credit. Yeah. But I'm horrified, dude. I never leave it. I'll buy something and pay it off right away. Like I never have interest anything, and it's solely because I'm horrified by it. Yeah.
So, growing up from what you said to your mom, when she was in debt and credit card debt, to where you are now, like, what does that feel like? I mean, now you said if you had, I mean, I never asked you this, but like, if you had kids, would you be able to teach them the same lessons that you grew up with?
Would I be able to, or like would I try to?
Yeah, because that was your life. You know what I mean? Like you actually had to live that to get that experience. But I'm like, I feel like, I don't know. Could you teach that to kids? Because I feel like it's so ingrained in us now to go into debt. Like you were talking about students. Yeah.
100%. Yeah. It seems like the first world. I'm taking some liberties. Yeah. It's like be in debt, but definitely America. America's like, buddy, what are you doing? If you got $10, spend 10,000. Yeah. Buy a new ass. Get a thing. You really walk around sometimes and you go, like when you're younger and you go, wow, this person looks rich. They got this car, they got that watch, all that kind of stuff. Then you grow up and you're like, yo, I think there might be like 4 people with money. Yeah. And everybody else, I'm exaggerating, but just about everybody else is full tilt, to the wall, broke. Yeah. Nothing. But they got a bunch of shit. They have a bunch of stuff. And then every once in a while when they go to bed at night, they go, shit, man, I owe $120,000 to whoever. That's horrifying. I don't know how I'm going to deal with that. And then they pass out.
So you don't have any student loans either?
No.
But your mom did?
My mom did, yeah.
Is it like student loan debt as bad as it is like in Canada as it is here? Is it the same system?
Yeah, but I don't think it's as expensive.
Okay.
Because people here, I talk to some people, they're like, I have $200,000. Sorry.
They're good.
I have $200,000 in debt. And I'm like, man, I don't know. I don't think I met anybody in Canada with that. I've definitely met like 70, 80, but 200? I don't know.
That's every lawyer here pretty much graduates with $200,000 minimum in debt.
That's a lot. And that might be the same in Canada legitimately, but I don't know that I just haven't heard that number. But up until a few years ago, or I don't know exactly when it was, but people were calling your house. And I think they did stop that part. I think student loans are not allowed to call you anymore. But student loans are definitely still a thing, for sure.
So let me ask you this then, like, okay, because a lot of people actually are going into debt for dating. I don't know if you know this.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like, I mean, they're going to debt now for burritos. Like on Klarna, I
hate those things.
You hate the Klarna, like, like, hey, you can pay $15 here, $15 there.
Here's the thing about those is like, or like those, that one, and then there's a couple other those, right? And it's basically
Affirm. Yeah, there's a lot.
It's like a payday loan type thing in a way.
Yeah.
Go here. What bothers me about those, and also like online, like how easy it is to gamble or buy lottery tickets, really pisses me off. You should have to go do certain things to see what it's like. Like to get money today that you don't have to pay off for a month or whatever the hell with interest and all that kind of thing. You should have to walk into a check cashing place, a payday loan place, and see it. Yeah. See it. See if you want to be there. The windows are bulletproof. Yeah. Everybody in there is having a pretty rough fucking time. Yeah. It's not a fiesta. Yeah. But when you can do it on your phone, you're like, who cares? Imagine putting a down payment on tacos. It's just crazy to me. But people do it solely because of these stupid things. A friend of mine years ago, anytime I've ever bought a phone, I buy it outright. And he's like, why would you do that? Why would you do that when you could just pay $100 a month? I go, why would I do that when I have the money? Yeah. And he's like, because you don't have to put it all up front. I go, yeah, but at the end, you spend more. Yeah. I'm like, what are you talking about? You shouldn't even buy a fucking thing if you don't have the fucking money for it. Yeah. And that's not me attacking anybody. That's just like, what are we doing? What are we doing?
But I think that goes with the mindset of everything we're talking about, where it's like, if you can't even write this resume, then you shouldn't have this job. Like, with ChatGPT, if you can't afford it, this just seems to be the American mindset now of like, if you can't do it, fake it till you make it type of thing. Like, you don't have to have these skills. You don't have to have this money. You don't have to have the ass. And that's kind of like, or whatever, whatever. It's like, but my question is like, okay, so you have these opinions. I know this must be a big conflict with like, I don't know, maybe people you meet or just people you date. Is that like a problem with you? Like,
I mean, I've been in a relationship for a long time. I could completely see people going into debt for dating. And what kind of debt are we talking about? In terms of like, they don't have money for stuff, so they'll go like, I'll put $200 this dinner on credit card and just constantly do that.
yeah, constantly, yeah.
Yeah, I
Or
mean,
dating apps. You pay for dating apps,
Oh,
like
yeah,
services.
yeah,
It starts
yeah.
before you even meet the woman
Yeah.
now, or man, or whatever. Well, that's not true. They fucking right away, but woman. So like, that's why I'm like, I was interested to see if you, but you don't have to worry about that. But like, all right. So we get a different variety of different people here. And when I was a kid, it used to be, did you want to be a millionaire? Now it seems we've already gone to, well, who wants to be a millionaire? You know, do you ever think about the idea of like being a billionaire? Was that ever something you've thought about? Or like, we have an obsession with them now. Like it used to be like, I feel like sports players when I was a kid or actors, but now it's like about being the richest man in the world.
yeah.
Like, so you've told us your thoughts on like Zuckerberg and all these people, but what do you think about like America's like wealth obsession? I mean, does Canada have that or?
Not to the same degree, but also we follow a lot of stuff that happens here, culturally and stuff. So I'm sure there's some, but as just a person growing up in Canada, no, it's not like do any single thing you can to make $10 million, you know? I don't know, man. Being a billionaire seems like it'd be awful.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because also like, what do you do with it? What do you do with it? How many yachts can you get? How many Colombian models can you violently have sex with? How much lobster? How much whatever?
Yeah.
Until you open an island somewhere where you bring certain aged people to, and then a whole bunch of other famous celebrities, and they all come down to the island, and we're having like, when do you start hunting these people?
Yeah.
I don't know. I personally, I wouldn't want a billion that's way too much. Because by the time you get to 500 million, grow up and just go, seriously, what are you going to do here, Doug? You're impressing a lot of people down here, but even not really. You're impressing like 200 other people in a room somewhere. Because you're like, I got 4.6, and this guy's like, I got 4.9. You're like, shit, I got to work harder. But both of you beat the game of life. You could all buy a country in Africa.
Yeah.
So just stop. But again, that's whatever. I don't know. I don't want $1 billion. I will be the first. How about this? I'm the first person in America to say, I don't want $1 billion. I don't want $1 billion. I would feel disgusted.
Yeah.
I would feel gross, and I'd probably spend a lot of time walking around being like, please, Jesus, or just sending it somewhere.
Yeah.
$1 billion? What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? You woke up tomorrow with $1 billion. What are you doing?
Honestly, I am looking for who's coming to hunt and kill me. Because if I wake up with $1 billion, somehow this got to me the wrong way.
Okay, let's say you do that.
Yeah.
You look for, and then you find out magically, let's just say the IRS messed up.
Yeah.
And they've been taking whatever, and they go, no, we owe you $1 billion. It's yours, free and clear. $1 billion. What are you doing?
Truthfully, probably putting it in a trust because I know me. But other than that, give it away. I give Stephan, Eagle. Honestly, if I got $1 billion, this is how I've always wanted to live anyway. If you give me $100 and I see a homeless person, I'm like, well, I got to give them 20. That's the kind of person I am.
But that's what I was going to say is like, most times when people think about things, they go, I'll get a car, I get a house. Like, you do not need $1 billion for that.
Yeah.
You need much less. Way less.
Yeah.
Way.
Yeah.
And I understand, but yeah, buying a house, probably nobody will ever again. However, you definitely don't need $1 billion to do it.
Yeah.
You can stop way short of that. And again, then you got to go into these rooms. I'm not saying that I'd love to talk to Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett seems to be, and I'm sure there's other billionaires that have, but Warren Buffett seems to be a billionaire who hasn't, from what I understand, screwed over people to get there. He started investing when he was a child, and boom. Yeah. But I don't know. Then you got to also talk to some of these people.
Okay, so you were just talking about houses. Like, you do comedy and everything, you're making money, but do you ever think to yourself, like, I'd like to be a homeowner? Or do you want to own a home here in the States, or do you want to go back home? Well, did your mom own a home?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now we're entering a world where, like, a lot of people can't own homes, and it's just going to be a renting for the rest of your life. What do you think the future of home ownership looks like for you, or just in people in general with the way everything's going, how much everything costs?
For me personally, I'm a pretty bad person so I did grow up in apartments.
Yeah.
For forever. My mom has a very small house, but it also came from like things. It wasn't like a whole deal. She got a house, and she's lucky to have it, and she would even tell you that. I don't. This is me. I don't like a house.
You don't want a house?
I don't like that I'm on the ground floor. I don't like you can look in. I don't like that if the hot water breaks, that's on me.
For sure.
I don't like that if the toilet's destroyed, I have to buy a toilet. I don't want to get a fridge. Yeah. That's me. It'd be nice to have a backyard, but you can do that with some apartments, some places, you know?
Yeah.
I also don't like the idea of like, I'm gonna buy this here on this road, and now this is me for 30 years.
Yeah.
There's something about that too. I'm not the right person for a house. Houses scare me, man. They're freaky. Yeah. You ever been in a house and like in a place that's like super dark, and when you look out the window, you can only see your reflection?
Yeah.
It's horrifying.
Yeah.
There's just something about that that's like, what's out there?
Yeah.
The strangers, Jason. I don't want to be on the ground floor. Pick me up. Okay. I want to be up.
Okay. So then let me transition to this.
Will other people own a house?
Yeah. What do you think about? I'm sure you gotta have some friends, or maybe.
Sure. And I watch things about money and stuff, and it doesn't seem like it's going to happen.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like it's going to be a thing, and that really sucks for people that would like to have a house and like big families or whatever. And I guess that depends on, because certain places are better than others, right? Like if you want to get a house in Little Rock, but then also now you're in Little Rock and you're making Little Rock money probably, so it all evens out, I guess. Yeah. I don't know. It seems like it does seem like.
Well, there was a housing crisis in Toronto.
Yes. No. Yeah. Where I'm from, Halifax, Nova Scotia, prices of everything went way up during the pandemic because we were still kind of open, because there was a maritime bubble, and if you were in the bubble, you were fine. We still had bars and stuff open, but so a lot of people from Ontario went out there, and prices of everything just got jacked up, man. Like there's some prices in Halifax that are the equivalent to New York, which makes no sense. Shouldn't be. We're pirates. It doesn't make any sense. But yes, no, the prices of certain things in Toronto, you're like $1 million for this? It's like a shed.
Yeah.
It's like a shed on Dundas Street. This is stupid.
Yeah.
So I don't know, man, but then that also pushed rents up. But yeah, I don't know. But for the people that would like a house, it seems like it's going to be a rough thing to do.
So you said you've been with a long-time partner. Do you guys want to have kids, or do you guys think about ever raising a family, or no, that's not really?
I'll go back to the AI question real quick, because that Mo Gaudat guy, the interviewer asked him, because he was talking about like, you know, he goes, people say like AI 10 years will end everything. He's like, much sooner than that, could possibly be much sooner than that. So the guy goes, what would you say to people that are planning on having kids? What would you say to them? And he goes, I'd wait a couple years. see how this kind of shakes out. And that was a year ago.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I used to really want to have like I always had this thought of having like a little girl. Yeah. I always thought that'd be cool. I don't know. But I picture like driving around a truck, eating a cigarette. I don't smoke, and I don't have a truck. Yeah. But there's just something. I don't know what that is. But I don't know about now. Then there's I don't know. It doesn't seem to be a thing that's another thing that'd be very, very hard to do currently. Because of AI, or because of just cost of living? Both. For me personally, I'd say more the certain things about AI and stuff, and then obviously the cost of living as well. I don't know how anybody's having a kid. I have friends that are having a second one, and you're like, what? What do you what? But the other thing is too, my mom didn't have any money. Here I am. Maybe having a kid is just like a simple thing that even if you have $8, you still somehow make it work. Yeah. It seems like most people didn't have money. Yeah. So I don't know. Have a kid. Is that for them or for you? For them. Okay. But also maybe for me too. Yeah. AI might end us all. Like I said at the very beginning of this, if there's anybody you can sleep with, do that. Spend your money. Get a big ass. Have a good time. Right, but also plan for your future, because it might shift and you might need that money. All right, this is the last thing I'm gonna ask, because this is pretty good so far. Yeah. Steve, you don't have one, do you?
I was looking through worst job.
Oh, worst job? Oh, right. Because I saw you do this on your hour. I thought this would be good for you to tell. The call center one?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, what was your worst job? And could you tell, like, that experience of it Because I thought that was like such a crazy, like Franz Kafka type existence.
I worked at a call center for Nextel. Do you remember Nextel?
Yeah.
The beep, the like walkie-talkie phone.
Yeah.
Which
Chirp,
was
chirp,
just
where you at?
Chirp, where you at? It's just so like stupid on its face.
Yeah.
But we do like, you know, we it's fun to be a kid for life. Anyways, it was a very expensive when cell phones were super expensive. So people would just call up screaming constantly. I was in a big warehouse, and so there's giant fluorescent lights. My computer screen is also at 100. So I would turn my computer screen down because it would burn my eyes. I'm like, this right now is murdering me. So even just these screens and things, like, they really do bug me. So I would turn it down to 10 or whatever. My manager would come over and be like, you gotta have that up at 100. I go, why? And she's like, because you just have to. It's a company policy. Everybody just likes to say company policy as if comp makes any sense. I also had to dress up to work at a call center.
That's crazy.
People calling me have their feet in butter. And you can't see me. I could wear whatever. I could be naked. Who cares? So, anyways, I started wearing aviators at my desk because everything was just so bright. But they had Christmas lights in the building to let us know how busy it was, and so the day I decided to quit, I was like, I'm gonna try to make these lights go from red to green. So I just sat there hanging up on people for a while. Which was a real party. But whatever, long story short, on the way out of here, they make you do an exit interview to ask you why you're quitting, because people quit a call center all the time. So I had to sit down with a guy and answer questions while he wrote down the answers. And he's like, why are you quitting? I go, buddy, I'm quitting because this place sucks. He goes, come on, man. And I was like, write it down. And I watched him write it down. And then he goes, what would make you come back here? I go, I'll come back here if you guys bulldoze this building and build a McDonald's. And he goes, seriously, man? I go, write it down. And he wrote down, bulldoze the building. It's the best. That was the most fun. And that's real. Me and my friend quit at the same time, same day. He was like, do you want to quit today? I go, absolutely. And me and him, they wouldn't let us use the microwave once we quit. Yeah. So we had to eat frozen pizza pockets, hot pockets, as we walked away from this place in the rain. Yeah. And me and him both went right to the theater and watched Friday Night Lights. It was hilarious. Beautiful. It was a great day.
You also did something too where you said you forgave this guy's debt, right?
Yes, there was so people would call up all the time and like really panic, and they were screaming and yelling. And this guy goes, again, cell phones were super expensive. This guy goes, man, my cell phone bill is $700. I don't know what I'm going to do. And I go, you know what, man? It's gone. And I deleted it. I just deleted it because I had control of the whole thing. I just deleted the bill. And this guy, dude, he freaked out. I would love to see where that man, I just broke this.
Hopefully this will get to him somehow.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
I'd love to see what happened to that man, because he was like, dude, oh my God. He's like, are you serious? He goes, I have to call you. He goes, he's like, you have no idea. He's like, I have to call you. He goes, give me your number. I have to call you every month. I go, buddy, this is your lucky day, man. I'm quitting right now. And hung up on that guy, and then I quit.
What year was this?
2004, 5.
All right, 2004, 2005. You got your cell phone bill.
Nextel.
Yeah, Nextel cell phone bill. Quit it.
Quit it.
Yeah,
that's hilarious. Yeah. Please let me know. I'd love to hear from this man. If he was like, dude, thank you. I took that extra $700. I put it in the market. Now I have $1 billion.
Yeah, I own a house because of you.
I own a house because of you. Yes,
yeah.
$700 when you don't have $700 is huge money.
Yeah.
So, anyways, yeah, I did do that.
I thought that was one of the best stories. I was like, people have to hear that story.
That's funny.
Yeah. You don't have any other like crazy worst
job stories,
do you? If so, we can wait. We can maybe do a part 2 with you if you're around.
Okay. Well, we're here now.
All right. If you don't mind, I'm just like, we don't know.
We don't know. It's funny. I mean, I worked at a plumbing supply warehouse. I worked at a fast food place in A&W, which they have some here in the States, but not a ton. And I worked at Starbucks, which I liked a lot.
Really?
I loved working at Starbucks.
Why?
Because I like talking to people.
Okay.
So I would just to joke with people and do things like that. My manager told me one time, she goes, if you weren't funny, I would have to fire you. Because she's like, you don't do anything. I go, I do things though. Yeah. She goes, what do you do? I go, I bring morale.
Yes.
And she
I know
went,
what you mean.
yeah, and she was like, what do you mean? You think? I go, yeah, what, you think? I go, I walk in here, every single employee is angry. Yeah. And then I'm like, my whole job here is to like shift this. Yeah. People would come into work, people would come into our Starbucks solely to talk to me and my friend. Because they were like, this guy's like, I wasn't just like, grande mocha, okay. I was talking to people. I had a great time there. Yeah. Until I did take me to I got fired, basically. No, I didn't get fired. No. I'm going to tell this story. Yeah. Damn it. This whatever. So they moved me because I was like, a manager left. The manager who said she
would fire.
Yes, she left. Another manager came in, and this lady was supposed to like put the foot down, clean this up. Because we have policies here. Yeah. Like one stupid thing, when somebody got a coffee frappuccino, okay, you had to say tall, like if somebody ordered a tall coffee frappuccino, to the people making the drinks, which was me sometimes, you'd have to say tall coffee frappuccino blended coffee. Yeah. And I would go, come on, man, I'm just gonna say coffee frappuccino. And they go, no, because it's blended coffee. I go, yeah, but of course it is. It's coffee. Like, what are we even doing here? Just certain stupid things. But this lady was coming in. Long story short, she sent me to a very strict Starbucks. Mm-hmm. King and I can't remember that cross street in Toronto, right beside a strip club there called For Your Eyes Only, okay? I was working there, and this guy was like, some of the shifts at Starbucks, you have to be there at 5:30 in the morning. Jeez. So I get up, I bike down there, and the guy goes, where are your shoes? And I realized I wore white shoes instead of black shoes. Yeah. I go, I left them at home. And he goes, how far away do you live? I go, are you asking me to go home and get my shoes? He goes, yeah. I go, okay. So I'm on my bike, biking back to my house at 5:30 in the morning. And I'm thinking, I just won't go back. I'll just quit. Yeah. And I was like, no, I do need this job. Anyways, okay, this is the story I'm trying to get to. I'm in this very strict Starbucks where you're not allowed to have a fun time. I see cops talking to a homeless guy outside, and they kind of like push him away. And I'm like, what'd that guy do? Manager goes, oh, he's taking your tips. So I called the cops on him. I go, are you kidding me? I go, you called the cops on that guy because some people here, instead of tipping us, give it to the homeless guy? And he goes, yeah, he shouldn't be out there taking your tips. I go, buddy, I quit. I'm done. That's crazy. I go, I work here. I make money. That guy's living on the street. And I quit right there. But up until then, I did like working there. I don't really have many bad things to say about Starbucks.
Okay. So the worst job was the call center.
Worst job was a call center, and also followed very closely behind dishwashing at a restaurant.
Here in New York?
No. In Halifax. Oh. Bayers Lake, Nova Scotia, Boston Pizza. Jeez. Brutal. You ever wash a dish in a place? Like, no, you ever have a job as a dishwasher?
I'm afraid to work in restaurants.
Why's that?
Because people are hungry, they're already in a bad mood. It's like, I don't want to deal with that energy. And I got a mouth, so I'm like, I don't want to say anything.
Sure. Well, washing dishes is the worst. Everybody hates you. Everybody hates you. Because this place only works on dishes. We need dishes. Where are the dishes? Like, when you go to a restaurant, it's basically as soon as you put your fork down, they'll come over and try to take it. And you're like, whoa, I'm still here, man. Yeah. You got half a chicken left. They're like, are you done? You're like, I'm not. No, I'm not done. I'm talking. But they're like, we need this dish. We need this plate. So you don't have any coworkers necessarily when you're washing dishes. At least I didn't. It was just me. Then there was the servers out front, big-titted hot women, and then massive. Yeah. But a lot of restaurants. You know, it's like Boston Pizza is like think of like a chain, like an Applebee's, like a something like that. Sure, Chili's, that type of deal. So you know, managers back like being like, well, I gotta work here all day. I want a nice lady to look at, and maybe cheat on my wife with. So big-titted ladies who would just come back and whip dishes at me because they're mad. Yeah. They would just throw, but it's a big pit. You don't even know what's in there. Yeah. I put my hand in, I get stabbed with forks, knives. The dish people or the chefs, they would come in and throw hot pots. And everybody calls you a dish bitch. It was brutal. There was no music. All I heard was water. I was soaked. Yeah. And people would yell at me. So when I first got hired there was the manager. He goes, you want to work here, right? I go, yeah. He goes, I mean it. Like, you want to be here? Because he goes, I'm really tired of finding people for this job. He goes, people quit all the time. He goes, if I hire you, you want to be here, right? He goes, you're going to last for a while? I go, absolutely. I worked there for 2 weeks. He hands me my first paycheck. I go, I quit. He goes, what the fuck? He lost it. But I go, buddy, I can't do this anymore. This is the worst. That job was much worse actually than the call center.
Wow. Okay.
Way worse. Because call center was like, I don't know. People would yell at you and shit, but I don't care. It was kind of funny to me. A woman called up one time and she goes, I go, hi, how can I help you? And she goes, if you don't check my minutes right now, I'm gonna drive my fucking car off the fucking road. I went, okay, hang on one second. I put her on hold and died laughing for like 5 minutes. I'm like, what is going on in this lady's life? I'm gonna drive my car off the fucking road? So it was like kind of funny. Dishes was not funny. There was nothing funny about Boston Pizza Dish Pit, man. God.
Did you have any other crazy calls?
Well, sometimes people would just call to talk, and I would always talk to them.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Like, just they were like, hey, how you doing?
Not like that, but they like, hey, I got a phone, and then it would go into like I talked to a lot of people about their like families.
Really?
People just call.
Yeah.
So one guy I remember for sure, he was like a grandfather. He got a Nextel beep beep for his granddaughter.
Yeah.
And he was like, the bill is so expensive. And he's like, you know how kids are. And then I just talked to this guy about his granddaughter. Yeah. He was talking about like she's going to school and she's dating this guy, and I'm just like, I'm ready to keep this guy on the phone all day because I don't want to go back to getting yelled at by other people. Yeah. So I just talked to him. So some people just talk. Some people just talk, yeah.
All right.
But as far as like crazy calls, no. I guess there was for sure, but those are the only ones I kind of remember right now.
That was great. That was a great way to end it, I think, right? That was good.
Those
Those were some great stories. Especially that dishwasher one. That was amazing. Yeah, thanks for doing it.
No, thanks for having me.
Yeah,
Appreciate it.
seriously. That was fun.
Thanks, Dave.